here's a little preview of what we're making this week. Hi everybody, welcome back to Flower Club. We have a really fun little kind of tropical design for you today. We're using the beautiful bird of paradise today as our focal flower, and we're going to do a little bit of manipulation of the flower to make it bloom in all of its beauty. So let's see what we have today for our design. Like I said, we have one bunch of bird of paradise, one trop top, and a little bit of cypress. So I've chosen a bunch of bird of paradise that aren't the best. If you can see here, some of the flowers are a little bit damaged. That's not a problem at all. The great thing about bird of paradise is that inside here is a whole another flower. So I'll show you how to pry them out and make them look amazing. So you can see here, I'm not loving this. I don't really want this to be my design. It's gone. Inside here, you can see it's kind of split down the middle. I'm just going to pry that open right at the base. Scooch my thumbs down beside the flower and pop it out. And then you can see there's a whole beautiful fresh flower waiting inside. So you can really gently start teasing out the flower. You can also see that there is this kind of white husky layer. You can just get rid of that. That's just a protective shield for the petals. It's not actually a petal, so you can just pop that out pretty easily and just start fanning out all of those beautiful petals really gently. So you can see I fanned out my beautiful bird of paradise, and I'll continue on with all of the rest. If there's one that's really closed and you just feel like it's not going to open, there's another trick that you can do if you want to be a little bit more gentle with them if they're really tightly closed, is to soak their heads a little bit. So I just have a little bit of a vase of water here. Soak them head first like this in tepid water, just like room temperature from the tap, and wait 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes. Pop them out, and you can pry them open, and it'll be super easy. Opening up right at the very base. And they're a little gooby, they're a little sap. They've got a little sap coming out of them, but don't worry about that. And birds of paradise are great because they last so long. They should last 12 to 18 days, depending on how well you take care of them. And they just like a not too cold room, around about, 15, 18 degrees. If they do start to brown, it's kind of a good indicator that the room is too cold, and to maybe move them somewhere with a little bit more light so they can really last weeks for you. So you can see some of them just keep on going. It's like a never-ending. Look at that. We've chosen the bird of paradise and these foliages for their longevity. They obviously last really long in the vase, but they also travel really well. I mean, the beautiful bird of paradise, like we're doing now, is the flowers that you see when they come. This is just, the tip of the iceberg. All of the beautiful petals are all protected within this little casing. So they'll travel beautifully, and no matter the temperature of where you live, if you live somewhere much warmer than Melbourne, which I'm very jealous of, they will travel beautifully and last really, really well. So I've had one soaking for a little while just to soften it up because it's super tight, and I'm just going to open that one up. So it's definitely helped. We'll start with, in my white ceramic vase, start with the cypress. I'm just going to start placing my foliage. Oh, I've got one little piece left over. Just going to kind of see what it's looking like. The cypress is really for stability, so it's going to kind of be a bit of a background character. So you can place it in and just make sure it's got a little bit of gritting in the bottom, which it naturally will because they're such sturdy, hardy stems. And I'm going to go in with my trop top. You can either put it in lower, so it's coming out kind of in amongst the cypress, or you can see how tall it's going to be. I like it a little bit taller. I think it's got a really beautiful, dramatic way about it. I'm going to keep it tall, keeping it nice and tall, gorgeous. So I've got a beautiful kind of fluff of Trop Top going on over here. So this Trop Top is actually called a Cordyline. Trop Top is the kind of catch-all term used for a tropical foliage at the top of the canopy, but these specifically are Cordyline leaves. They're native to Southeast Asia, Papua New Guinea, and the Pacific Islands. So long-lasting, gorgeous, bit tropical. And another fun fact about Cordyline leaves, in Feng Shui, they're actually meant to bring positive energy to your indoor spaces. So I hope you're feeling the vibe. I'm feeling it. Now that we've placed all of our foliage, I'm going to start with my lovely, look at that, wow, my beautiful, gorgeous birds. So I'm going to kind of step them down. Kind of have one and then one and then one and then one and one. So lots of layering, lots of levels. That's what I'm going to try and achieve. So they're all going to be pretty much the same height. So there's not really one. You can find like your kind of star of the show, but usually we'd find like the tallest piece or something like that, the tallest stem to be our hero, but they're all pretty much the same length, which is kind of handy. And so if I want the head of the flower to be right here, just measuring against the vase and chopping the excess. So I just cut my Trop Top down just ever so slightly, just so that it's a little more nestled down in there and gives a little bit more stability for the birds. Because they do sometimes tend to swing in one direction, like depending on how they're weighted. So dropping that Trop Top down just adds a little more bulk into the bottom of the vase. All right, so I've placed all of my birds of paradise in all of the places that I want them. And I actually found that using a vase with this wide of a neck, I think it's about maybe 15 centimeters in diameter, was a little bit too wide. So if you do have something that's maybe 10 and under, I think that'll be absolutely perfect. But this is my creation for the day. I had a little bit of a very curvy one that I kind of dropped down the bottom here, which I think is kind of cool. And I did drop my Trop Top down, my Cordyline leaves down just a little bit lower in the vase, like I said, for a bit of stability, but I did chop off a little more. So that's what we've done today. I hope you enjoy. Oh, wait. I'm actually going to show you this design in a couple of different vase options, depending on what you have at home. So we have this beautiful vase. This is the balloon vase we have on the website that has a much narrower neck. I think it must be about 10 centimeters, maybe less even, maybe like 8. And they're sitting up really beautifully, gorgeous. And is another vase option. This is the wave vase, and as you can see, it's much more narrow and wide. And I love the way it looks like this because you can see them all displayed so beautifully in a line. Does that make sense? I think it really shows off each flower really beautifully when it's in a vase shaped like this. So if you do want either of these, they are on our website, just to let you know. But I hope you enjoyed this week. I'm now surrounded by birds of paradise, loving my life, and I'll see you guys all next time. Happy designing!